Hey, welcome to the Simple Nutrition Podcast, a show that helps you learn practical and actual nutrition tips from an expert. I am your host, Leonila Campos, a registered dietitian with over 8 years of experience in the nutrition field. Hey, everybody! Happy 2025! Welcome back to Simple Nutrition Insights, the podcast where we break down the science of nutrition into practical tips you can use in your daily life. I am Leonila Campos, registered dietitian, and your host. Today we are diving into a hot topic: how to keep your immune system strong with the power of nutrition. Whether it's cold and flu season or you are just looking to stay healthy year round, you won't want to miss this episode. We will cover the essential nutrients for immune health, foods to include in your diet, and even some habits that may be working against your immunity. Now, it's interesting that I'm doing this episode today, and actually the whole reason why I decided to do this episode, it's because it made me think about our health, right? Our health on a day-to-day basis, our health when we get sick, the frequency that we get sick. And so we spend the holiday season sick. Like my entire family got sick. It started with my oldest son. He got sick the last day of school, right? Like he wasn't feeling well. And then like he spent the entire week sick. And then my youngest son got sick only for a few days. Then my husband got sick. And then I got sick last. And I think this has been the sickest I've been in a long time. Like I can't remember being this sick. And so I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can imagine maybe people that are chronically sick and like how they feel. And so nutrition does play a huge role in our immune system and our ability to recover, the length it takes to recover, and obviously how often we get sick. So I said, it is still winter, flu season, and just being sick is the numbers are higher, right? And so I said, let's do an episode on that. So you can still hear my congestion. It's gotten better, but at one point I felt like I wasn't myself, right? I was just really weak, and I wasn't hungry. I was drinking a lot of fluids, but I'm feeling better, more like myself. I have been able to see clients. Last Friday, I had to cancel some sessions because I was just absolutely wiped out. Right? I wasn't feeling well at all. So anyway, let's start with the basics, right? Just a quick overview of our immune system. It is our body's defense army. It protects us from harmful invaders like bacteria, viruses, and toxins. It's made of organs, cells, and proteins that work together to fight off infections. And guess what? What we eat plays a huge role in how well our immune system performs. So I want to linger here for a little bit. And I want to talk a bit more about what the immune system is, right? As I quickly mentioned, but it is composed of various organs like the bone marrow, the thymus, the spleen, lymph nodes, along with specialized white blood cells, including lymphocytes, lymphocyte B, and T cells, neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, and natural killer cells. They all work together to defend the body against any pathogen, anything that is foreign, right, that the body sees as that it shouldn't be in our bodies. And so it's a network of cells, tissues, and organs that identify and neutralize threats to the body. Now, there are specific cells, right, that do specific jobs. So for example, B cells and T cells, they directly attack infectious cells. And natural killer cells fight viruses and cancerous cells. And then we have phagocytes, which are neutrophils. So when you do blood work, right, and oftentimes they'll check your neutrophils, your monocytes, your white blood cells. And if those are elevated, right, could be an indication of some kind of sickness. We have our bone marrow that produces all blood cells, including immune cells, and our thymus, where T cells mature and develop, our spleen, which filters blood and stores immune cells, and our lymph nodes, which are small bean-shaped organs throughout the body where lymphocytes encounter antigens and get activated. So all these organs, all these cells and tissues, right, work together when we are sick. Now, we think about, okay, how much does that affect our bodies? When we get sick, if we think about just the general symptoms, right? We feel tired, our temperature might increase, but we might not be as hungry. We just feel like blah, like we just feel like we want to sleep. Now, here is why. When we are sick, we might think that our bodies are not working, right? Our bodies work 24/7, nonstop. But when we get sick, our bodies work significantly harder than usual, as our immune system is actively fighting off the infection, which does require a large amount of energy, right? Calories, often leading to symptoms like fatigue, muscle aches, and fever as our body is prioritizing battling the illness over other functions. Essentially, our body is using a lot of resources, right, to defend itself, making us feel weaker and less energetic than normal. Because if we think about, okay, our bodies are working 24/7. Now, if we get sick, our bodies are trying to do their best to get us better soon, right? So they're working even harder to be able to do that job. And so it does require a lot of energy, right, to be able to do that. And so our white blood cells are rapidly produced and deployed, right, to fight the invading pathogen. And that can lead to some inflammation and some aches. Also, if we're having fever, right, that increases our metabolism. And so it can also increase our energy, the rate that we are burning calories. The inflammation response from our immune system can also lead to widespread muscle aches and feeling of tiredness. And that can also increase our heart rate because our heart is working extra hard, right, to circulate blood and oxygen throughout our bodies. And that contributes to a faster heart rate. So rest is crucial. Now, I learned this the hard way because I am a super active person. And in my mind, I was okay, maybe I should move my body more to get the blood flow, which it does help, right? But I had been fighting these sickness for a while. And I was feeling pretty weak. But on Thursday of last week, I woke up and I was like, okay, I feel pretty good. I did a quick workout. And they said, okay, I feel good. And usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a swim class, right? A 60-minute swim class. The pool is heated. It is outside, so you still feel really cold. So I was like, I think I'll be okay. So I went swimming on Thursday. And swimming requires a lot of energy, right? Because you're using a lot of muscles. And so I hadn't been eating very well because I wasn't hungry. Digestion is another process that slows down because it also requires energy, right? And it requires your body to work to be able to digest the food. And so sometimes that slows down because your body's trying to fight the infection or trying to fight whatever pathogen is in your system. So you're not going to feel hungry, right? Because it's another thing that your body has to worry about, even though we still need the nutrients. So I wasn't feeling very well during the week, so I wasn't very hungry. And so I felt okay on Thursday and I went swimming. Well, after my swim, I was feeling like nauseous and just weak. And then I was having like this head congestion and like a lot of pressure. And I said, oh my God, like I'm feeling worse today. So usually when I don't eat enough and I work out at the level where the swim classes usually is, I get really nauseous because my blood sugars drop significantly. And so I have to be able to fuel myself consistently. But when you're not hungry, right, it's harder to do that. So my husband said, you're not getting well because you're not allowing your body to rest, right? He was upset at me. He was like, you need to slow down. You need, instead of like going swimming and waking up so early and working out, just give your body some time to really recover, rest. You're going to feel better. In my mind, I was like, man, but I thought that moving my body would help me faster. In this case, it didn't. And so I said, okay, you know what? Is Thursday, I'll just rest. Friday, I was still feeling really sick. And I did some work, I didn't work out. I just did some work that I needed to do. And then at the end of the day, I just took stronger medicine, to be able to rest and like get that congestion out. And then on the weekend, I was, I was just a bum. I didn't do anything. Obviously, took care of the kids, fed them. My husband helped me with some cooking. So rest is crucial, right? Especially if we are so used to being on the go, right? Sleep and rest is where our bodies are going to be able to recover and repair. They do that already when we sleep at night. When we are that sick, oftentimes taking that extra rest is what's going to help us. So I've been able to do that a little bit more. I'm feeling better. I can still hear my congestion. And so I'm working through that. But yeah, it has been an interesting case, to say the least. Focusing on healing is extremely important, right? Hydration is extremely important because it's what's going to take extra nutrients, right? It's going to keep our cells hydrated, being able to move where they need to go. And so that is definitely extremely important. Here's what I want to focus on, right? There's only so much that we can do when we're sick, right? Aside from maybe we need to take medication, staying hydrated, getting, some nutrients in, some protein in it, if possible, to help our cells and our organs. But every single day, right? And day after day, week after week, we have to be able to give our bodies the building blocks and the nutrients that our bodies need. So that way they are equipped, right, with these nutrients. So when when our bodies are fighting these pathogens, we have enough of those nutrients to recover sooner, right, to be able to recover properly, but also to prevent the frequency of the sickness, right, how often we get sick. So here are some key nutrients and their roles. The first one is vitamin C. Vitamin C is found in citrus fruits like oranges, mandarins, cuties, bell peppers, strawberries, and broccoli. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant that helps our bodies produce white blood cells, which fight infections. An antioxidant it reduces the oxidative stress, which damages the walls of our cells, just in general. So we need to add these foods on a consistent basis. Vitamin D, which is found in fatty fish, fortified dairy products, or fortified plant-based products, and sunlight exposure. The role of vitamin D is that it plays a critical role in immune regulation and helps prevent infections. And unfortunately, over 90% of the population is deficient in vitamin D. Now, this might be a combination of not getting enough sunlight exposure, eating enough of these fatty fish or fortified dairy or plant or dairy alternatives. And so in order to meet this goal, right, we would need to have about 3 servings of dairy or 3 servings of dairy alternatives. So think of like almond milk, soy milk that is fortified, right? If it's just something that you make at home, you have to add the vitamin D to it, right, to be fortified. So about 3 servings of that to get the vitamin D that your body needs. The role, I mentioned that. The other one is zinc. Zinc is found in shellfish, pumpkin seeds, beans, and nuts. Zinc is essential for the development and activation of certain immune cells. So adding these foods, right, will help with the development and the activation of those certain immune cells. Probiotics like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and other fermented foods, they support our gut health. And since 70% of our immune system resides in our gut, this is a game changer, right? We have to focus on adding these fermented foods to be able to help our gut, which is going to help with our immunity. If you have gut issues or if you have diarrhea consistently, those probiotics, right, which is the good gut microbiome, oftentimes that gets dysregulated, right? And so adding these fermented foods can help, as well as with the prebiotic, which is the fuel, right, for the probiotics, the fiber. Antioxidants, which are found in colorful fruits and vegetables like berries, spinach, and sweet potatoes, they help reduce inflammation and protect our cells from damage. So adding them as well. Protein, which is found in our lean meats, eggs, tofu, and legumes. Protein has so many roles. It's a macronutrient, right, which is a bigger molecule that is essential. But protein provides the building blocks for immune cells and antibodies. We need to be able to add these foods every single day, so our bodies get those building blocks that it needs to, one, help us prevent the sicknesses, but also as we get sick, right, to be able to recover faster. So I truly believe in the power of food that it has in our bodies, and like food as the sense of like food is medicine, because it absolutely is, right? If we give our bodies these nutrients that it needs to protect us, right? Protect our cells, but also to have these building blocks, right, to help us recover sooner and maybe not get us sick. It's just a life changer. Now, I like to always work on adding these things in a way that it makes sense. If right now you're like, I hardly eat anything with vitamin C or anything with vitamin D or zinc, the idea is to incorporate them slowly, right, in a way that it makes sense for you, and then build onto that. Because if we change everything at once and we're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's a new year, new me, resolutions, and I'm just going to do it. Because of the motivation, we will do it, right? But most likely, as the episode that I did, right, 80% of those resolutions are going to fail by February, because sometimes they are too vague or they're too big, right? So making them work for you and something that makes sense. So let's put these things into practice. Here are some examples on how we can add this type of nutrients that I mentioned. For example, for breakfast, you can have Greek yogurt, rich, high in vitamin D and protein. You can also choose a plant-based Greek-style yogurt like Kite Hill that is also high in protein, about 15-17 grams. And it's also fortified with calcium and vitamin D. You can add berries for your antioxidants and a handful of walnuts for omega-3. If you want to add chia or ground flaxseed for some extra fiber and omega-3s, that's wonderful. And you have a rich and nutritious breakfast. You can also do that as a snack if you want to. Lunch, spinach and quinoa salad with grilled salmon and a citrus vinaigrette, or you can do tofu. So you have your spinach for your antioxidants, your quinoa for your fiber and also your protein, as well as your salmon. It's fatty fish, so rich in omega-3s, or tofu, which is going to be fortified with calcium and vitamin D, and it's going to have fiber and protein, and your citrus, right, for vitamin C in that vinaigrette. Or if you're like, I don't like dressing, you can just juice the orange and add it to your salad, or lemon or lime juice, and you're still going to get some vitamin C from that. Snack, for example, carrot sticks, high in vitamin C and vitamin A, with hummus, some fiber and protein, or an orange, and some pumpkin seeds for zinc. Dinner, stir-fried veggies with tofu or any other protein that you want to add. Garlic and ginger over brown rice. Again, you have your high antioxidants, high anti-inflammatory foods. Tofu that is fortified with calcium and vitamin D, and it is naturally high in fiber and protein. Garlic and ginger are immune-boosting spices, and your brown rice for fiber and some protein. So these meals are quick, right? They don't require, a higher level of cooking expertise, and it's something that you can do right away, right? So try to incorporate these meals, plan ahead, do your grocery shopping, really, really understand what your challenges are that are preventing you from adding these foods, and work through those challenges. Now, you can also add other immune-boosting spices like turmeric. We talked about ginger and garlic, which are anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial, perfect for our immune system. Now, let's talk about habits that weaken our immunity. Number 1, excess sugar. Eating too much sugar can suppress our immune response for hours after consumption, but it also increases our inflammation. So if we're eating just a bunch of sugar, right, or sugary foods, number one, and we're already sick, that is contributing to more inflammation, right? And also you're not providing your system with these nutrients that it needs to fight off the pathogens. So, but as we think about, again, on a day-to-day basis, if we are adding a tons of sugar every single day, that is contributing to systemic and chronic inflammation, right? So your immune system is already compromised. I'm not telling you that you have to eliminate it completely, but you have to be aware, right, of how much sugar you consume on a day-to-day basis. Chronic stress. Stress increases cortisol, which can weaken our immune defenses over time. So incorporating stress management techniques like meditation or exercise can help. Chronic stress affects our bodies in so many levels, not only increasing cortisol levels, but also other hormonal imbalances, which can lead to adrenal fatigue, which is also going to weaken our immune system. We have these alerts in our systems that are going off 24/7, and that is a lot of work for our bodies. We do get to a point where we're fatigued all the time, we're foggy all the time, we can't seem to get well, rest very well, and all the combination, right, is a disaster, right, for our immune system. So managing our cortisol levels, our chronic stress is going to help us in so many ways, not only to boost our immune system. For sleep, right, our immune system needs sleep to recharge. So aiming for 7 to 9 hours per night is the recommendation, but not only the amount, right? The quality of sleep also plays a huge role. So we could be sleeping 9 hours, but the quality is not what it needs to be, meaning that we're not getting good deep sleep, good REM sleep, which is where our bodies truly recover and repair. And so when we wake up tired, right? We're tired throughout the evening or throughout the day. And so really looking at, and I've done an episode on sleep, so take a look at that. But figure out what are the challenges and what is your routine leading to bed, right? If you're overstimulated, you might want to decompress yourself. Or if you have so many thoughts in your mind and your mind is racing and it's not letting you to calm down to a level where you feel rested, figure out how you can transfer those thoughts into paper or somewhere else that is going to allow your body to rest and recharge. Dehydration. I have a lot of people that say, I hate water. Well, water is essential. It's something that our bodies need. Obviously, the things that we eat are going to have some kind of water, right? Especially if we eat more fruits and veggies, there's a lot of water there. If you eat more dry foods, more fried foods, not a lot of water there. But when you think about water and staying hydrated, it helps our body flush out toxins and maintains healthy mucous membranes. So it is your first line of defense. And when you're sick, you need more water, right? Because your body's working so hard at getting rid of all those toxins, and your kidneys need that extra help. So if you don't like water, add a little bit of flavoring, add some fresh chopped fruit in it, add some tea, figure out a way to stay more hydrated, because this is going to help you not only with your immune system, with your skin, but just for overall well-being. And I think I've done another episode on hydration, so take a look at that as well. Okay, let's look into more of a holistic approach. We're not just our immune system, right? We are a whole person. And so nutrition is just one piece of the puzzle. Combine it with regular exercise to improve circulation and immune cell activity. Now, this is on a day-to-day basis, right? If you're sick, obviously you need your rest, as the example that I gave of me not resting. But this is after you recover, right? On a day-to-day basis, you need to move your body. Our bodies are meant for movement, and that helps with circulation and taking oxygen throughout our bodies. Find whatever it is that you want to add in for movement, right? Walking, yoga, Pilates, strength training, whatever it is that you want to start with, but do it consistently to a level where it is a habit and you just automatically do it. Make it a non-negotiable. Managing stress through mindfulness or yoga by finding a way to manage your stress because it's going to help you with your cortisol levels and your immune system and just overall mental health well-being. Now, this one is up to you, right? If you are doing vaccines or immunizations, right, and you want to be up to date with that, that's wonderful. Can give you a boost in your immune system too for extra support. Okay, a few questions, common questions about our immune system and our immune health here. Can supplements replace a healthy diet? The answer is no. Food is the best source of nutrients. It should always be your first line of defense because food is not only going to give you vitamin C, right? Like, for example, the foods that I gave you that were high in vitamin C, like bell peppers and citrus, they're not only giving you vitamin C, they're giving you vitamin A and fiber. And so you want to add the food because the food is going to give you so many other nutrients, and a supplement can only give you those specific nutrients. But also, when you add it in food, your body uses most of it and what it needs. And then if it has enough, then we get rid of it, right? With supplements, some of the supplements can accumulate, can also be harder on your kidneys, and they can also lead to kidney stones. So a high dose of vitamin C for a long period of time can lead to kidney stones. So keep those things in mind, right? You have to do food first. If you have a deficiency like vitamin D, which is something that is common, consult with your dietitian, consult with your doctor to see if a vitamin D supplement is needed. Does drinking more water directly boost immunity? As we mentioned, right, staying hydrated supports overall health. But just like in anything, right, it's not a magic bullet for immunity. You still have to do these other things that we talked about on top of staying hydrated. So remember, building a strong immune system doesn't happen overnight. But working small, consistent changes to our nutrition and lifestyle can make a big difference. Start by adding those nutrients-rich foods we talked about and cutting back on habits that may weaken your defenses. My friend, if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who could use a little immune system boost. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. You can also follow me on Instagram at nutrition_with_Leonila for more daily tips. And remember to stay safe and stay strong. In the show notes, you're going to find a recap of what I talked about and some tips to boost your immune system. Don't neglect your health. Don't neglect your nutrition. You need to give your body what it needs to build a strong immune system. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye for now. What's up? This podcast, the links and resources provided are for the purpose to educate only and are not a replacement for medical advice or nutrition therapy. I suggest you seek out the help of a trained professional to help you with your specific situation and needs.